What is the most $1 has ever gotten you? $92. Worked a coat check at an auction and we weren't supposed to have a tip jar. Well, someone placed an empty glass on the counter and eventually someone else thought it was a tip jar and started tipping. I said nothing. It got so full that I had to empty it. And then people no longer tipped because it was just an empty cup. An amp. #X200B. So I put $1 back in, which made people assume it was a tip jar again, and then the tips came flowing again. Second wave of tips made $92. So putting $1 back in made me $92. An amp. #X200B. I regret absolutely nothing. This is psychology. My sister learned this in class and used it when she worked a concession stand one summer. She threw $1 in and customers started tipping. My great-grandma used to give all of her great-grandchildren $1 every time she saw us. It was a sweet gesture, and all of us great-grandchildren would love seeing her and enjoying the free money. She's recently been moved to a nursing home due to the risk of falling because her body is extremely weak. I moved in with my boyfriend in August and went through my things while I packed. I found, concealed in a child's Bible, $1 wrapped in a note which read, "Dear baby, smile away. I can't wait until you're born. Here's your first $1, make sure mommy keeps it. I love you very much." A few weeks later, my mom, sisters and I went to visit her in the home, as my mom is her primary caretaker. I pulled the $1 from my pocket and read the note aloud. My great-grandma's eyes lit up and she beamed. "Oh wow, look at that," she said. "I'm glad mommy didn't spend it all." Quote, "It was a pretty priceless moment." Edit, added a missing gray. Edit 2, whoa, platinum. Thank you. You guys are so sweet. Glad I could make you smile. That's €1, not $1, but still, about 5,000 low-quality earplugs. They do the job fine. I still have like a 100. I don't know where the rest went. Have you checked your ears? Ah, man, this was in my opinion better deserving of anything than my reply. Thanks so much. IDK what I shall do with my newfound access. And POWAHHH. But I'm sure it will be something mediocre at best. What do I do now? I can't choose one from among these awesome replies. What? I bought a McDonald's burger for this homeless guy near my old job. The guy was grateful, so he taught me how to make origami cranes and we became friends. Fast forward follow-up. He got back on his feet and now has a nice apartment and a really annoying yappy dog. Teaches craft classes at a local community center. He teaches crafts, that is. His dog doesn't teach. That'd be silly. Asterisk, that'd be awesome. A wife. I signed up for a river tour in a foreign country. It cost me an extra $1 to ride in the first boat leaving. Met someone on that boat who later introduced me to her cousin. Been married 8 years. Lucky. The wife I bought for $1 went back to Russia with my entire Beanie Baby collection last week. Dude, you only paid $1 to get rid of a Beanie Baby collection. You made off pretty good. Not $1 but 60p. Got me 2 donuts from Sainsbury's which I enjoyed with my mate when we went to a football match. Probably the most I've ever appreciated a food item. That 60p was literally all I had left in my bank account. If I'm ever down to my last $1, I hope I can enjoy it on a nice donut. A French, an amp. NBSP. To clarify, I live in Europe and we actually don't have dollars here. When I came back from New York I had some dollars left and had them in my wallet still for a long time. Even when I forget about them from time to time. Once I was talking to a girl I met and started talking about America. She had never been there and I remembered that I had $1 in my wallet. I gave it to her and she was really happy, still talking to her to this day. Only a bit less than we used to, but safe to say I can call her a friend of mine. $1 for a friendship is definitely worth it. I bought a cookie for $1 at a bake sale. Didn't really want it later on. Gave it to a lady I worked with. She loved me for it. I was her favorite after that. That lady was my asshole of a boss. Best. I was expecting a porn plot, but I got wholesome employees instead. The way this thread is going, I expected him to get the lady pregnant. A full evening's entertainment. I'd bet my friend $1 he wouldn't break into our university's football stadium this year. He did, but he did so right in front of a security guard, who then proceeded to chase him around, flashlight waving the whole time, in full view of the rest of us outside a fence. This chase went on for probably 5 minutes, through the stands and across the field. My buddy came flying out a different fence, but ripped his pants open in the process. So he was then running down the street away from a frustrated security guard while giving said guard the full moon, if unintentionally. Anyways, that led to getting beers while watching cop cars drive around the neighborhood slowly. I can only assume looking for a guy with no ass to his pants. Totally worth $1. You can't buy entertainment that fun for 10 times the price. I used to work at a motel doing the night audit. There was a Papa John's across the street. I scratch your back, you scratch mine agreement. They would deliver me a 10-inch pizza for $1 as often as I liked. I would tip $1 to the driver, and suggest Papa John's to any patrons looking for a bite to eat. Smart Papa John's franchisee right there. Most hotels have some kind of unspoken deal with the desk staff. My wife used to work overnight at a hotel, and the restaurant employees would often bring over extra food while delivering other orders. It's a good way to get some cheap advertising. I found a huge book at this hole-in-the-wall thrift store. It basically diagrams and explains everything about how an automobile works. But it was printed in the early 80s, so pretty out of date. However, it still taught me quite a bit, and I'm essentially invulnerable against mechanics trying to fuck me. The knowledge was worth way more than $1. Edit. Trying to find it so I can disclose the correct title. Title is Automotive Principles and Service. Published by Reston Publishing Company Inc. 1980 OK. I give. It's fixed. It's not outdated if you buy a car from the early 80s. Hell, you'd even be able to maintain it yourself. Better break out the spools at Vacuum Ho. I was working retail, and one of the old ladies who used to come in and look at the TVs in my department while they waited for it to be time for the bus back to their independent living facility came over all faint. She asked if I had anything sweet she could have. I got a Coke from the drinks machine in the break room, and she drank it slowly, holding onto my arm. Monsieur. My manager had called her an ambulance, and they loaded her up and took her away. Diabetes. The EMT said the Coke was just the thing for her and slapped me on the back. I still remember her little wave as she left. She lived. I didn't save her life or anything, but that $1 made the difference between her getting into the ambulance conscious and with dignity, versus unconscious and sick. She said later when I visited her at the hospital that she might have had to move from independent to assisted living without it. So that was a good $1. Best soda I never drank. This is amazing. You say you didn't save her life, but who knows, you could have done. If she'd have slipped into a diabetic coma or something, there a chance they might not have been able to get to her back. Well done, you should be mega proud of yourself. You could even go as far as to say they saved her quality of life. The differences between independent living and assisted living facilities vary greatly. Some people may not realize how big this is for older people, but it is. I won $40 off of a $1 scratcher once. That was an awesome surprise. McChicken with mac sauce. Didn't get charged for the mac sauce. Beautiful. Lived in Oregon for a while with no sales tax. Nice to be able to go in with a $1 bill and walk out with a McChicken. Same in Delaware. 99 Arizona iced tea is actually 99 cents. When I was 16, my aunt and uncle wanted to give me an old hand-me-down car that both my cousins used. when they first got their licenses. But because of tax purposes it made more sense to sell the car to me. I bought my first car for $1. Once bought a beer for €1. Turns out you get a raffle ticket with each drink. Long story short, I won a surfboard. What did you do with your surfboard? Trade it. A rather bossy, loud woman came into our shop to talk to my brother. My 6-year-old nephew told her she needed to leave so he could finish his homework. She laughed and left. I gave my nephew $1 for getting her to leave. Black Friday. The local animal shelter has a special any black dog or cat for a $1. Nephew buys a dog with his dollar. So what got rid of an annoyance too. Saved a dog's life through gave my nephew a great pet for. Annoyed the shit out of my brother because he really didn't want another dog at the house. And GT, a rather bossy loud woman came into our shop to talk to my brother. My 6-year-old nephew told her she needed to leave so he could finish his homework. She laughed and left. I gave my nephew $1 for getting her to leave. My mom tells a story of how I did the same when I was little. She was chatting with a friend of hers, but said friend had overstayed her welcome and was just talking and talking non-stop. Me, being a little kid with no filter and wanting my mom and I to leave, looked at the woman in her eyes and straight up told her, "You never shut up, do you?" My mom was mortified, didn't know what to say, but the woman took it well. Said something like, "You know what? You're right. I'll say goodbye now." Told my mom not to worry and something about truth from the mouths of babes and left.